Hello Year 10, welcome to another home learning video with me, Mr. Mooton. I want to make something clear. There are some times where examples will be very easy, and there are some times when examples will be quite hard. Now, where the examples do get very hard, remember it's always a good idea to try and persevere, okay? So maybe rewind the video, go back, have a look deeply at the methods, see how I got it, and then it might make sense the following day. So it might be an idea to make a note of the things that you find difficult, and please let me know in the emails. If you want me to explain certain things again, I can do that easily for you, all right? So please let me know. Right, so let's get our pads, our pens, paper, let's get that all ready. I'm ready to start today, okay? Right, so let's look at our learning objectives. So learning objective number 1 will be reviewing areas from previous lessons. So that's rectangles, triangles, and all that sort of stuff, compound shapes. Lesson number 2 will be calculating areas of trapeziums. And the third learning objective will be calculating the heights of trapeziums given the area. Okay, so let's pause the video, please, and have a go at the do now task. Okay, welcome back if you had a go. I'm not going to give you the answers just yet. I'm going to just pause and go through the challenge question. Okay, so if we just focus on that first. Now, from previous videos, what you'll notice is that I normally divide this shape into 2 bits. Okay, so you'll see a rectangle, which I'll call A, and a triangle, which I'll call B. Okay, now I would also separate them out. So if we look at the rectangle first, it's very important that you pay attention to the lengths and the widths. Okay, so the length of the rectangle, be careful, is going to be 10 centimeters. Let's put that in there. And the width of the rectangle is 8 centimeters. Okay, and 10 times 8 is 80. Now, we're going to add that to the area of the triangle. I'm going to put it down here because I'm running out of room. Now, to find the width of the triangle, well, the distance from this corner to this corner is 12. And we already know that the length of the rectangle is 8. So to find this bit, I need to see what I need to add to 10 to make 12. Okay, so that's going to be 2. All right, the height of the triangle is the same as the height of the rectangle. That's 8. So to find the area, I just do base times height divided by 2. So I'm just going to do it somewhere up here. So area of the triangle will be 8 times 2. Divide that by 2. 8 times 2 is 16. Now if I divide that by 2, I will get 8. Okay, so all I need to do is to find the area. I do 80 plus 8, which is 88 centimeters squared. Okay, I will double underline that, but I've run out of room. Right, so let's have a look at the rest of these. You can already see the first one. Okay, you might want to pause the video, tick what you got right, cross what you got wrong. Right, so if we look at the challenge question again, this is going to lead into our main objective, because what we've done is we've separated this shape into 2 separate shapes, okay? But is there an easier way of doing this? Can we just do this using a different method? So let's have a look. All right, so this leads us on to today's objective. Can we copy down the date and the title, please? Okay. Now, what you will notice is that the shape that we looked at from the do now is called a trapezium. All right. Now, a trapezium looks like a roof, the roof of a house. And let's look at the main properties of the trapezium first. Well, if you look at the properties of the trapezium, okay, it will have one pair of parallel sides. Now, what this means is A and B run alongside each other and they're also parallel, okay? The distance between them is the height, all right? And that's the case for any type of question that we do. Other properties include the following. It's a quadrilateral, so it has 4 sides. And if I were to add up all the interior angles, so this angle here, this angle here, this angle here, and this angle here, I will get 360 degrees, okay? We're not going to work on that today, all right? The most important property to remember is this one here, all right? Because we have to identify which lines are parallel. Remember, parallel means 2 lines that will never meet. Right. So let's look at the formula for the area of a trapezium. Okay, now you don't need to prove this formula. This is just something that someone made up. Okay, now to find the area of the trapezium, let's just break it down into 4 bits. Okay, so the steps I use is this. All right, we need to identify A and B first, and they must be the pair of parallel lines. And normally I mark that in. So from this example, I can see that the parallel lines are here, all right? When you do examples later, you can just fill that in. My first step is to add together the parallel sides by marking them in first, all right? And that's something which I have already done. My second step is to half the answer that I get. And my final step is to multiply by the height, which is, like I said before, the distance between them. Okay, so can you pause the video, please, and copy this down? Okay, well done for that. So let's look at a few examples. So can we copy down this example, please? Don't worry about the steps because I'll assume that you've already copied it down from the last slide. Brilliant. So let's look at the area of this. So what we need to do is make sure that we add together the sides that are parallel. So let's mark in our parallel sides. So opposite sides that never meet, that's going to be 12 centimeters and 10 centimeters. So if we add these together, you should get 22 centimeters. My next step will be to halve the answer. So that should be 22. 22 divided by 2 is 11. And my last step is to multiply by the height. Now the height in this case is 8. So we do 11 times 8, which is 88 centimeters squared. Okay? So that's an easier way to work out the area of the trapezium, which we saw from the do now task. Okay? Right. Let's pause the video and copy this down, please. Brilliant. Welcome back. Now, I would like you to pause the video, please, and have a go at this question. Just a little warning, you will get a decimal, but I'll let you try the question first. If you'd rather wait for me, that's fine. Okay, welcome back. All right, so if at any time you want to pause the video while I'm going through this example, guys, this is one of our harder ones, please feel free to do so, okay? So, to find the area, let's mark our parallel sides in first, which is 9 and 10. So when we add these together, 9 plus 10 is 19, okay? Now, we need to halve it. We need to divide by 2. One way to do it is this. If you know that 18 divided by 2 is 9, that's the even number before it, and 1 divided by 2 is 0.5, when you add them together, the answer is, if you do 19 divided by 2, that's just 9.5, okay? This is something we probably will work on in later videos. However, if you're not comfortable with doing it that way, if you think that way doesn't work for me, Mr. Mooton, an easier way is just to use the bus stop method. It never fails. So if we do 2, how many 2's into 19? 2 won't go into 1, so I'll carry the 1, put it on the 9. I then need to look at, I should put a 0 above the 1. I need to look at how many 2's go into 19. Well, 2's into 18 goes twice, and you'll get a remainder of 1. So I need to put a 0 here. And 2's into 10 goes 5 times. Okay? So the answer should be, sorry, 2's into 18 is 9, not 2. Okay, that should be 9. All right? So that would be the 9.5. Okay? Right, our last step is to multiply it by the height. Okay? So if we multiply 9.5 by 6, you could use the Chinese method for this. And I would recommend it, guys. So here's 6. You could put 9 and 5 here, but also put a little blob here to show that it's a decimal point, okay? Times goes here. 5 times 6 is 30, so that's 3 tens and no units. And 9 sixes are 54, okay? So I'm going to put a 0 there, okay? 4 plus 3 is going to be 7, and 5, I don't need to add this on to anything, okay? That's 5, okay? So the answer would be 57.0. You don't need to put the 0.0, but I'm just putting it there just because. 57.0 centimeters squared. And I'll just underline that, okay? So make sure we have that down. Okay, brilliant if you got that. If you didn't, just obviously keep practicing. You might want to pause you might want to go back, pause the video when I say copy it down, and then try the question again yourself and see if you can get it the second time around, okay? Maybe do that tomorrow or the day after, okay? Right, so let's look at another question. So can we copy this down, please? Oops, sorry, not this one. Okay, brilliant. So let's look at step 1, which is add together your parallel sides. Now, some of you might get confused with this, okay? So it's important that we identify the lines first. So if you look at these two sides, they slant, okay? If I were to continue this line all the way up there and this line all the way up there, they're not parallel because they will meet eventually. So what I'm going to do is if we look at this line here and this line here, they should be parallel because they run alongside each other and they will not meet, okay? So step 1, we add them together first. 5 plus 3 is 8. We need to then halve the answer. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then we multiply by the height, okay? So 4 times 4 is 16 centimeters squared, okay? And then I'll just double underline that. Okay, so let's pause and copy this down, please. Right, brilliant. So let's have a go at this question here, please? Right, brilliant. So let's go through the answers together. Our parallel sides would be the 5 and the 7 because they run alongside each other and won't meet. All right. So if we do 7 plus 5, that's going to give us 12. That's nice and easy because we can halve that. 12 divided by 2 is going to give us 6. Now, remember, our height this time is 8, okay? It's not going to be 4. So the height would be 6 times 8, which is 48 centimetres squared when you look at your times tables, okay? Right, so let's copy that down, please, guys. If you didn't get that, you can always rewind, maybe in another day's time, and then try this question again, okay? Right. Let's copy this down, please. Oops, sorry. Right, now what you will remember is that this trapezium this time has been turned around, okay? Now, before we do anything, let's identify our parallel lines. So that's going to be 5 and 7, okay? So step 1, we add together the parallel sides. Did I write the steps down here? No, I didn't, so I'm going to have to... All right, guys, we'll just have to imagine the steps. So look at your steps from your notes that I've copied down, okay? So step 1, I'll just write step 1 here. We add together our parallel sides. So 5 plus 7 is 12 centimetres. We then halve it. 12, step 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Now our height, well, our height is not going to be 11 because that's not straight. The straight line is 10. So step 3, we times by the height. So 6 times 10 is 60. I'll write down here, 60 centimetres squared, okay? Right, well done for having a go. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Okay, can we have a go at this, please? Okay, well done for having a go. Now, our parallel sides for this one, as you can see, is 8 and 10. Okay, so step 1, we add these together. 8 plus 10 is 18. Step 2, we half it. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And the last step, okay, we're not going to do this one because 8 slants. We're going to multiply it by 7. So 9 times 7 is going to be... It's going to be 92. 91, sorry, centimetres squared. Okay, so I've just lost connection, okay? Just double underline that. Right. Let's go down. Right, so I think that's all, okay? Now, the next example, guys, will be quite tricky, okay? Sorry, 9 sevens are 63. Okay, that's wrong. That should be 63. I'll just correct that, okay? Don't know what's happening to me. That's 63 centimetres squared. I'll let you copy that down. Right, brilliant. Okay, so let's have a go at this then. Okay, let's copy down this question. Right, so example number 4 is a little bit different, okay, because we now need to work out the height. So we know that the area is 70 centimeters squared, okay? Now, step 1 means we add them up. So 17 plus 11 is going to give us 28. Step 2, we half it. 28 divided by 2 is 14. Okay. Now, if we were to times it by the height, okay, the height this time is x, okay? If I were to do 14 times whatever the height is, I will get 70, okay? Now, to get what x is, I just do the opposite of times, which is divide. 70 divided by 14. Now, if you wish, guys, you can do this on a calculator, all right? However, you can also do it like this. If we half 70 and half 14, we can do 35 divided by 7, okay? And that's easy now because that, just to make it clear, divide that by 2, divide that by 2, okay? If we do 35 divided by 7, that would give us 5 centimeters, okay? But like I said, people, you can always use a calculator. Okay, so pause the video, guys. Please have a go. If not, just copy the question down. You can wait for my examples and then just do that one later, okay? Right, welcome back. So let's do step 1. So all you do is add together 6 and 10, which is 16. Step 2, you divide by 2. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. Now, we know that the area, should have underlined this earlier, is 32. So therefore, 8 times whatever x is will give you 32. Opposite of times is divide, okay? So if you do 32 divided by 8, the answer is 4 centimeters, okay? Well done if you got that right. If you didn't, guys, go back, maybe pause it and have a go, okay? Right, so here are your questions. So pause, maybe have a go at these. Brilliant. So well done if you had a go. Let's go through our answers. So your answers are there and your extension is here as well, guys. Okay, so this brings the unit to a close, guys. Next time we're going to look at, we're going to move on to 3D shapes. So your quiz will be on frog. All right, make sure you log in, you have a go, guys, and give us any feedback. All right, and then we'll work through it together. Okay, have a good day, and I'll see you soon.